Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm so happy that you've stopped by today. I feel like we're old friends and I'm really happy to be reaching out to such a fantastic community of people. If you're new here, my name is Colleen and welcome to this channel and this community. I wasn't planning on documenting this video because I'm just making a simple soup for Brianna and I for dinner, as we're the only two that will be home for dinner tonight. So I'm just going to make a wonderful simple chicken noodle soup with toasted noodles. And I will explain more about that and get us started right after this. Okay, I have the basics laid out here. There's not an awful lot. Maybe some of it's not quite on the screen for you. I have a small onion, 4 very small ribs of celery that I've washed, 2 carrots. They're long, but they're not very big around. This will definitely be more than enough for 2 of us. I've got rotisserie chicken and I just need 2 cups of the chicken from there, so I may take the breast and the thigh or something along that line and save the rest for lunch tomorrow. I've got some 30% reduced sodium chicken stock, chicken broth, some parsley. I've got a little bit of chicken broth mix because I just might want to enhance this a little bit. This does have salt in it, where that one's reduced, so I will add and taste as I go along. I've got the oven set at 350 degrees. It's warming up because we need to toast the noodles, which I need to reach for. So for today's recipe, I'm just going to use regular spaghetti noodles, but you can use whatever kind of noodles you would want. I found spaghetti noodles work good because the finished result is more like the chicken noodle soup that you would buy in the packets at the store because it's got the little tiny noodles. I'm sure there's probably places you can buy the little tiny noodles, or you can just use spaghetti and break it up the way we're going to today. I'm going to toast that, however. So, oh, and I have a bay leaf here. So I think that's pretty much all we need. I've got my big soup pot, or my big, I think it's a 5-quart Dutch oven, on the stove to get ready, because one of the things I like to do when I'm making soups is I like to, before I start to mix the broth and the rest in, I like to sweat off the onion, celery, and carrots. It just seems to bring more flavor to the soup. So let's get started. I'm going to take these ribs of celery and I'm just going to cut them lengthwise. And then I'm just going to move through them. And, you know, it's amazing how much flavor celery brings to a soup. It is fantastic. Oh, I look up and I see Brianna just pulling in the driveway. So she will definitely be here for dinner. It's nice to have something quick and easy when it's just a couple of people. I think it's quite a challenge for people who have always cooked for a crowd their whole lives to have to cook for a smaller group of people. Okay, I probably have a cup of celery here, I'm guessing. And I'm just going to peel these carrots. And we'll get the carrots ready to go. Now that I'm looking at the carrot and how big it is, I'm wondering if I need 2 of these lanky carrots or if one would just work. There we go. I'm going to cut this up first and see, because I would like to have equal parts. celery and carrots. Let me cut this in half. Get a good start here. Maybe I'll cut this lengthwise too. And make the half moons instead of the full rounds. Actually, while I'm at it, I may even quarter these bigger ends. There we go. Now this doesn't need to be perfectly done. Let me reach a towel. And let's lift this board up. See if we can't quiet that a little bit, because it does make a lot of noise on that counter. Oops. Did that help? It's hard to tell. I think it did. Just about through it all. Got a big piece there. I don't think I have quite enough carrot. So I'm going to do another. This one's smaller anyway than the last one. I do like this potato peeler that peels in both directions for things like carrots. It's really handy. I wish I could tell you where I got it. And I don't recall. I just had it around such a long time that I don't remember where it came from. But it does move in both directions equally well, which is really good. I'll chop through this quick. Okay, good. I think that's going to be perfect. And now last for the vegetable chopping, I'm going to do up the small onion. And our weather has been very chilly the last week. And thank you to everybody who sent out your thoughts and wishes for me. I wasn't feeling very well last week. I was quite convinced I was coming down with the horrible flu that Peyton had, because we do live in tight quarters here, but lo and behold, I managed to escape. I'm not sure I've been completely unscathed, just because there's a lot of flus going around right now and this horrible cold and cough, but I had one day where I felt pretty ugly and just sat on the couch a lot, but then the next day I got up and my husband asked how I was, and I feel great. So happy to report. But anyway, the cold has come, which we're used to in February. We're used to the thermometer dropping and the days being chilly, but it also brings beautiful, beautiful days where the sun is shining brightly outside, the sky clears off, and it's just fantastic. Now, I'm just going to use a bit of olive oil in the pot, get it started, get these in to begin sweating, and then we'll come back and work on the chicken. So I'll be right back. Now I'm going to go to work on this chicken. I've got everything in the pot on the stove, and it's turned on, but it hasn't started to really sweat yet. And I just heard the oven beep. So maybe right now, before I start on the chicken, I will grab this flat pan, and I am simply going to lay out a bit of spaghetti. Now I'd love to tell you how much that is, but I can't. I'm not going to count the strands, but I know that this will double in size or a little better, and it's for two of us, and I would do almost double that if I was making a pasta. So this is going into the dish. It isn't the main part of the dish. A few more. And I'm just going to lay them out on this parchment-lined baking sheet. You can put them right on the baking sheet if your baking sheets were in good shape. Mine are old, so I cover them up. And I'm going to put this in a 350-degree oven for 6 minutes. Probably not a moment more than that. We just want to toast the noodle. It adds quite a bit of flavor to the soup. So I'm going to put this into the oven, set a timer, then I'll come back and we'll work on that chicken. Okay, that is in the oven. And you can probably hear in the background the vegetables starting to sweat. And I use rotisserie chickens quite a lot. Let me get rid of that. Because at our grocery store we can buy this pre-cooked rotisserie chicken for $12.49. And any whole uncooked chicken that we buy in the store is going to be close to $14, if not a little more. So this way I have the meat ready, and it's been roasted, which helps to bring out the flavors. So I use this kind of chicken quite a bit. And especially for things like sandwiches, salads, meals that I need to, have a couple of cups of chicken in, and it needs to be, reasonably quick. Casseroles, things like that. So I'm just going to, maybe I'll just take the breast off today, and I'll get both sides here. Remove the skin and get all the meat. Both Brianna and I like chicken, so this works out good for us. And I suspect we might even have a bit left over. Let's just get this done. Because the time ticks away pretty fast, it won't be long until we're ready for the noodles. I'm just gonna, maybe I'll just cut, then I'll wash my hands. And you can just shred this if you prefer to have your chicken shredded for your soups. And that wouldn't make any difference at all. It really doesn't matter. It's all about your preference. And I'm not such a fussy cook that I need it to be all the same. So some of this I'll just pull apart because the pieces as they are too big. And pretty soon we'll have a little bit of each. Some shredded, some cut, and more than enough chicken. At this present moment, when I look at this, I can see that I have more chicken than I do vegetables. So I am not going to use all of this chicken. There'll be some for a sandwich for tomorrow. So I'll just bring this back for the moment. This is just the lid. And I'm going to remove that. Probably the one breast would have been enough. Oh yeah. I'm sure that it would have been now that I look at it. That's lunch tomorrow. Okay. I'm going to wash up my hands, move us over to the stove so you can see what I've got going on there, and we'll carry on with adding the chicken and the chicken stock, and add the parsley and a bay leaf and maybe a little chicken broth bouillon. We'll see if we're going to need that or not. And I'll be over there. Well, as it turned out, the noodles were ready. So here they are, toasted, nice and brown. I'm going to roll them out here onto this kitchen towel so that they can cool while we work over by the stove. And then we'll break them for the soup. And let's see. I don't know if you can see the difference in the color, but they do get toasted up nice, and they have, yeah, a really great flavor. If you've never tried that before, you may like that. Let's go to the stove. There we go. Everything's looking pretty sweaty in there, which is good. So it's time for us to add some of the other ingredients. So let's get the chicken in there. And I'm going to add about a good tablespoon of parsley. Something about parsley in a soup. Well, both soups. I'm going to add in the bay leaf. And then I'm going to add in chicken stock. Now I have 2 containers that have been opened and not fully used. And what I'm looking for here is to cover the ingredients with chicken stock. And I don't need it to be super soupy. I just need it to cover everything. And that looks good right there. It won't be stewy or soupy. I'm going to just taste it. That tastes pretty good. I'm going to add about 1 teaspoon of the chicken broth, but really, honestly, that's not even probably necessary. Now, I think we have everything in the pot that needs to go in there for now. So I am going to get a lid. I'm going to turn this down, let it come to, actually I should let it come to a boil first, then I'm going to turn it down and let it simmer for about 35 to 40 minutes. And then we'll add the noodles to it. So I will take you back over to the counter as soon as the noodles have cooled enough for us to work with, and we'll get them broken up. The noodles are still a little bit warm, but I thought, why not? So there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can take the time, which is a good way to do it, I guess. Take the time and just break off about inch-long pieces of the noodle. Or you can roll them up in the towel and you can break them that way, although that's much harder to do. So I am going to take the time, I'm not going to make you sit through it, but I'm going to take the time to break these up like this, and then I will bring you back when we're ready to put them in the stew pot, or in the soup pot in this case. So I've broken up all the pieces of toasted noodles, toasted spaghetti noodles, and I had a little more than a cup, probably not 1.25 cups, but I'm just going to use this cup so that we have accurate measures to share with you. And I'm going to take this cup of toasted noodles and put it into the soup pot, and when the noodles are cooked through, the soup will be ready. So if you remember, I set the soup on there for 30 to 35 minutes, or yeah, I think I put 30 to 35 earlier. I've let it go 30 minutes, and now I'm going to add the noodles. And it already tastes fantastic because I've tasted it. Okay, in we go, and I will bring you back the finished product. Well, this soup is ready, and it smells so fantastic. I don't think I can really show it to you. It's more soupy than stewy, or more stewy than soupy. I am going to ladle some into the bowl and let you have a look. What I can tell you, let's move this out of the way, is that the toasted pasta in here smells like toasted crackers, and it just adds a whole different dimension to this flavor of the soup. And I'm looking forward to diving into this for dinner, and I hope that this has given you an idea of how you can take plain, ordinary chicken soup and bring it up to the next level. I'll have everything in the description box below the video, as I always do, and I look forward to seeing you again soon And please give this video a like, comment, subscribe if you're new. And I will see you again soon on the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.